Let's go for a loop. Welcome to 2-Minute Tech. Today we're going to talk about using loops in Power Automate. Let's get started. We'll go to Create, and we're going to create a new Instant Cloud Flow that's manually triggered, and we'll call this Send Files in OneDrive folder. We can go back to the old designer here. What this is going to do is going to send us an email for every file it finds in a OneDrive folder. So I have a folder here with 3 different files. And let's start setting this up. We'll go to OneDrive. And we're going to use this list files in folder action. Point it to our test folder. And we'll add a new step to send the email. Set up our email. All right, we've got our email set up. We're going to add the file name to this email, but keep in mind that list files in folder, files plural, can return more than one file. So this is unlike previous outputs we've used that only have a single item in them. So I'll go ahead and add the name output from that action and watch what happens. Voila! You can see that Power Automate automatically put the send an email action inside of this apply to each block. This block will run once for each of the outputs from this list files in folder action. So in this case, we have 3 files in this folder, so this block will run 3 times, meaning we'll send 3 separate emails. One thing to be aware of, if you have other things in this block after the send an email or before it, it will run once for every single file that it finds in the folder. So if you have 100 files, it'll run 100 times. So anything you don't want to run once for every single file that it finds, you need to add it here outside of this apply to each block. And you can see, other than being in this block, it looks much the same, except this is the name for the current item it's working on in the current iteration of the loop. And you can see up here, it gave us a little message about how it had automatically created an apply to each block because we added an output that can have multiple items in it. Let's test this and see what happens. All right, our flow is finished running, and if we open this apply to each block, you can see we now have this show 1 of 3 up at the top. That's because this element of the flow ran multiple times, and it lets us go back and forth to see the separate emails that it sent for each of the 3 files that it found. If we go to our email, we can see, sure enough, we have 3 separate emails, 1 for each of the 3 files. This was a quick introduction to using loops in Power Automate. What are some helpful or tricky situations you've had when using loops? Add these in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video to keep talking about loops.